Hi YouTube viewers! Welcome back to Reliving Layton, the series where I'm playing through the Professor Layton series in chronological order and reviewing them as I go. Today's video is about Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy. I'm excited to dive into this one. I have lots of thoughts and feelings to discuss. As usual, this is the final game in the prequel trilogy. We made it! So we're set to begin talking about the original trilogy in the next video. I'm not even gonna beat around the bush, let's just start the video. I think this is gonna be a short one, but I'm gonna pack a lot of passion and like witty humor into it for you guys. Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy is a 3DS title that was released in 2013. Azran Legacy is the last main series title to be released in the Professor Layton series. And yes, you heard that year right. 2013 was the last main series game that was released. It has been 12 years, verging on 13 years, since the last main series title was released. If you're an outsider and you ever catch a glimpse of the Professor Layton fanbase and we're like frothing at the mouth because New World of Steam is coming out next year, now you know why. We've been waiting 13 years for this. Anyways, fun fact about Azran Legacy, it is one of the rarest Professor Layton games to date, except for maybe Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright. This is because there were only a limited amount of physical copies released, and they have yet to port them digitally anywhere else. Getting a physical copy of Azran Legacy or Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright can cost anywhere between $80 to $100, which in 2025 is sounding less and less crazy, but remember, this was released in 2013 and it's a 3DS game. So getting a physical copy of Azran Legacy or Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright is pretty pricey. Unless, of course, your aunt and uncle got it for you for Christmas back in 2018. Stay mad. Stay mad. You're so mad right now. You're so fucking mad right now. You're so mad. It's actually embarrassing how mad you are. I could, oh my god. Wow, okay. Azran Legacy is the thrilling finale to the sequel trilogy storyline. Our trusty trio is back once again, this time in collaboration with Professor Desmond Sycamore, who has found a living mummy, a girl from the ancient Azran civilization perfectly preserved within ice. When the girl, Aurora, reveals the locations of 5 Azran eggs, the trio is launched into a globe-trotting adventure. In order to unlock the secrets of the Azran once and for all, Layton, Emmy, Luke, and Sycamore must quest to find the eggs before the evil criminal agency Targent does. Coming up next, here's me again to talk all about the plot and writing. I think overall this story does have good bones. My biggest complaint about the game, and the biggest complaint most people have about the game, is that it's basically a 25-hour-long fetch quest. In my opinion, the game has a really strong start and a really strong finale, but the middle kills all of the narrative tension for a painfully long time. I liked being able to see new geographical regions of the PLCU, and if you're new here, that's the Professor Layton Cinematic Universe. I liked being able to see the new regions of the PLCU and the world building that came with that. But the fact that each chapter of the game is a completely new storyline with completely new characters and a completely new mystery to solve from start to finish, it gets really repetitive really fast. The first 2 or 3 settings are fun, but then after a while you're thinking, I have to do 5 of these to get back to the main plot. I think it would help if there were a bit more connective tissue between each chapter, or some main story event between each chapter that raises the stakes. That could have helped keep up the narrative tension and increase the player's motivation to actually get through the middle section. I think the mini mystery road trip format for a game might suit a spin-off like Layton's Mystery Journey better. From an objective standpoint, I did enjoy a lot of the stories and the writing of the mini mysteries. There were just so many of them and they went on for so long. Also, there's a lot to be said about the crazy plot twists that are thrown in at the end of this game involving family trees and Emi Altava. I agree with the majority of people saying that the load-bearing plot twists they wrote in were just not given enough time to develop and air out. Which is a shame because, as I said before, we just spent 25 hours hunting eggs. There is so much mileage in a twist reveal that Herschel Layton is secretly related to Leon Bronev and the brother of Jean Descalais. But this all gets revealed in the course of one scene, and then we never get to see Layton or Descalais grapple with it. Also, let me just say, I'm not a huge fan of the Emi Altava plot twist that they basically immediately tried to retcon. Either make Emi actually evil, or make her fight for an angsty redemption arc. An angsty redemption arc, I say! Again, there's lots to play with if you're going to make that character choice. Maybe we're shown that she has grown to care about Layton and Luke after all this time, and she has to grapple with that dichotomy within herself. Maybe she was really meaning to betray them the whole time and feels no remorse. How do Layton and Luke feel about that? But no, nothing really happens. At least now we have a setup for Emi to come back in New World of Steam. I'm not sure if I'd rather have her come back or have a new assistant for a new trilogy. By the way, I hope having a new game means we get a new trilogy. Can you imagine? Life is so beautiful. New World of Steam in 2026. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Fetch Quest, bad. But, as I said a bit earlier, I do really like the bread of the plot sandwich. The intro was very high energy and started the game off with a bang. The ending, I felt, was a very heartfelt conclusion to the entire trilogy. And to the series as a whole, because you have to think back and realize this is kind of the, release-wise, this is the conclusion we've been left on. And guess who cried at the end of this game? I'll give you 3 guesses. It was me. It was me. I cried at the end of the game. I thought the game had an interesting final message about what the Azran legacy really even is, and what the Azran legacy represents. It's actually a pretty timely story, even a decade later. It would have been really easy to say the Azran legacy is something attainable, that the protagonists get the ability to wield as a plot device, or something they win as a reward for being the good guys. However, I really like the writing choice to make this mysterious legacy a cautionary tale to the modern day characters. These characters who have spent the entire trilogy searching for the mysteries of the Azran, digging and digging to reveal the truth behind this ancient civilization. And the truth is, the Azran failed. Their technology advanced so far that it backfired on them. Their dying wish as a civilization was that future generations would not have the same thirst for power and rashness that the Azran did. And the characters, the modern day characters, are able to break the cycle by choosing selflessness and courage, by sacrificing their discovery to help others. I found it to be a very touching layer to add to the ending of the trilogy. Google, show me this guy's balls, please. I think the music in this game was pretty middle of the road. I think the way that Tomohito Nishiura did the different musical styles for each setting in the game provided a really great vibe for each chapter. I like how they were all stylistically different. My main problem, I don't even know if I describe it as a problem, but the thing that I thought was lacking in the soundtrack is that in the most recent releases of Professor Layton, Nishiura has really been regressing into this acoustic guitar and piano-based music. I miss those dirty jazz accordion solos. Give me your shittiest bassoon MIDI sound font. There were a couple catchy tracks in Azran Legacy, but nothing really caught my fancy in particular. I don't know. I actually think Azran Legacy was really solid puzzle-wise. I think they really began to hit their stride with the use of 3DS technology in this game. Some of the Miracle Mask puzzles seemed like, whoa, look what we can do, while Azran Legacy used the technology in creative and fun ways, which actually elevated the puzzles themselves. I think there was a good balance of difficulty in the puzzles as well. I was not really a huge fan of any of the minigames in Azran Legacy. Nutty Roller was my least favorite. I don't think I was able to figure out a single level on my own. And I know, I feel like I say this every time, but I don't like the minigame because I wasn't good at it, and I know that's not Some people probably don't like that I use that as a like way to judge a minigame, but I that's how I didn't like the minigame. I couldn't figure it out, so I don't like it. I'm gonna rate it low. I also hated how Nutty Roller defaults to this like diagonal view of the map. When the game is so much easier to complete like from an overhead view, you have to specifically toggle the overhead setting on if you want it. And as someone with a recurring issue of bad depth perception, the diagonal angle just made it even harder for me. I liked the concept behind Dress Up, but the execution of the minigame was kind of poor in my opinion. It's a pretty common minigame format in Professor Layton games where you build X person's ideal Y. It's very similar to Ideal Meal in Layton's Mystery Journey, or I suppose that makes Ideal Meal similar to Dress Up, because technically it came first. Or like T-Set, which is a minigame we have yet to play in Diabolical Box. I definitely haven't finished the actual playthrough. I'm playing it in real time as I'm making these videos, you guys. Anyway, in Dress Up, you collect characters from different locales you travel to, and you have to build their ideal outfit from the clothing items you collect in the game. Except when I tell you, you have to build the most dog water ugly outfits for these poor people. It was frustrating because my natural instinct is to use their instructions to make an outfit that looks good, but not a single one of the correct solutions looked good. It seemed illogical to me. Why would you not design the correct outfits to make sense visually when you put them together? I'm basically having to guess which pieces go with which character because all of the outfits are mismatched and they don't look good together. It frustrated me in a way I can't quite put into words. My favorite minigame out of these, which is still a pretty low bar because it wasn't that good to me personally, that's my opinion, was Bloom Burst. I think it was a relatively interesting concept for a minigame, and I liked seeing the reveal of each finished garden as you got rid of the fungus. Otherwise, this was the first Professor Layton game in my playthrough where there wasn't a single minigame that I was looking forward to unlocking more of. I'd only give the minigames 2 stars if it wasn't that I kind of liked Bloom Burst. Okay. I think where this game gets some harsh criticism from me, it makes up for in other ways. Like I said, I really do enjoy the not the majority of the plot, but I enjoy the beginning and end of the plot. I kind of wish it was structured in a way that kept narrative tension for the player. But even with that lacking, there was some fun writing and a really cool beginning and end to the game. Plus, I think the finale was a well-rounded ending to the trilogy with some good twists and some less good twists. The minigames were pretty mid, and so was the music, but I'd argue that the puzzles in Azran Legacy are some of the strongest in the entire sequel trilogy. Even though I'm harsh on some aspects of the game, I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to on the second replay. That pretty much wraps it up. So yeah, tune in next time for Curious Village. Oh my gosh, the OG. Guys, we made it. I'm so excited to talk about Curious Village, and I think I speak on behalf of anyone who's ever played the Professor Layton series that the original trilogy is close to all of our hearts more than the sequel trilogy. The sequel trilogy is great. It's a fun time, but like we came for the original trilogy and we stayed for the sequel trilogy. So I'm really excited to talk about these 3 games that are like some of the closest games to my heart. I can't believe we're over halfway through this series. It's been so much fun creating this passion project. If you've been sticking around for all the videos so far, thank you so much for watching them all, and thank you if you've ever commented on a video. I just love that people like give a crap about me talking about these games that I'm passionate about. So thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.